I want to talk to you directly for a moment, not to a crowd, not generally, to you. Because there's something I've noticed that many people miss, not because they're bad people, not because they don't care, but because it happens quietly. That's the problem. The things that change your life the most don't always arrive loudly. Sometimes they arrive quietly, slowly, almost invisibly. And by the time people notice them, they've already shaped their direction. So before we go any further, I want to ask you something. What has been slowly changing inside you lately? Not suddenly, slowly. What feels different? What feels weaker? What feels stronger? What feels farther away than it used to? Because if you don't stop and notice it, you can drift without realizing it. Most people don't wake up one morning and decide, I'm going to move away from what matters. That usually isn't how it happens. People don't wake up and decide to become distracted. They don't wake up and decide to lose focus. They don't wake up and decide to slowly disconnect. It happens gradually. One small decision, then another, then another. And because each change feels small, it feels harmless. That's why people miss it. Because humans naturally pay attention to dramatic changes, but we ignore slow changes. And slow changes are dangerous because they don't ask for attention. They just keep moving. Let me ask you something. What have you stopped doing that used to matter to you? Think carefully, because the answer may reveal more than you realize. In Hebrews 2:1, it says, "We must pay the most careful attention so that we do not drift away." Look at that word, drift. Not run away, not suddenly leave. Drift. Drifting is quiet. Drifting is gradual. Drifting happens while you think nothing is happening. And that's important, because people usually expect major turning points. But often life changes through small repeated movement. Think about a boat. If a boat slowly moves a little at a time, you may not notice it immediately. But after enough time, you look up and realize you're nowhere near where you started. That's why attention matters, because attention determines direction. And direction eventually determines where you end up. I want you to think about your daily life. Think about your thoughts. Think about what fills your attention. Think about what occupies your mind when you're alone. Because repeated attention becomes repeated thinking. Repeated thinking becomes repeated patterns. Repeated patterns become direction. And eventually, direction becomes identity. That's why small things matter, not because they feel important immediately, but because repeated things become powerful things. What has been receiving your attention lately? Not what you wish had your attention, what actually does. This is difficult because people usually want dramatic answers. They want one powerful moment, one big change, one emotional breakthrough. But many times growth looks quieter than that. Growth often looks like consistency, repeated choices, repeated focus, repeated direction, and consistency can feel boring. That's why people struggle, because excitement feels powerful, but consistency changes lives. In Galatians 6:9 it says, "Let us not grow weary in doing good." Why say that? Because weariness happens, even when you're moving in the right direction. So now we need to return to something important. Maybe the issue isn't one big mistake. Maybe it isn't one terrible decision. Maybe the issue is simply this. You stopped paying attention, and small shifts started becoming bigger shifts, without noticing, without intending it, without realizing where it was leading. So let's go back to the question from the beginning. What has been slowly changing inside you lately? Because what changes quietly still changes you. And what repeatedly receives your attention eventually shapes your direction. Before you leave this video, don't move on too quickly. Think honestly, because sometimes the biggest warning signs in life aren't loud enough to interrupt you. They're quiet enough to be ignored, and that's exactly why they matter.